Hi, this is Eric Lambert, and welcome back to How to Clinical Research. So this is part 3 of a 3-part video series of how to become a CRA. And today I'll be giving you interview tips. So, first of all, before we begin, remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And let's get into it. So, in this step of the process of becoming a CRA, you will have already created your resume. You would have submitted it out to countless job applications. You will have gotten a lot of no's, and maybe you got 1 or 2 yeses. So now the hiring manager has reached out. They want to do a in-person interview, and now this is how you're going to prepare for that. All right. So first of all, dress to impress. You want to not overdress. You want to match the role that you are applying to. Just keep in mind that as a CRA, you are expected to dress professional. So I do recommend wearing a suit. Don't go way over the top because you don't want to kind of start to look like maybe some other role that you're going for. You want to look like a CRA. But just keep that in mind. Be fashionable. It makes you a little bit more memorable. It makes you stand out a little bit more. Most people may not go in there dressed too nicely. Maybe they're just wearing a regular button up and some pants. Put a little style into it. It'll go a long way. Okay. So next thing, keep in mind that as I go through the steps on how to prepare for the in-person interview, you're gonna want to keep in mind that anytime they ask you a question, don't just say yes, I can do that, or whatever the answer you're giving them. You always want to answer by example, answer through example. So what I mean by that is if they ask you, if they say, I'm looking for, someone who can do X, Y, and Z, or do you have experience in these things? Don't just say yes to those, and don't just say, yeah, I can do it. You want to give an example from your past experience that shows that you're capable of doing whatever it is that they're asking if you can do. That makes it believable, and that makes them feel much more comfortable with you. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we go along. One question that they'll ask you is if you have any questions for them. Okay, that's going to be one thing. And you never want to just say no to that question. You should definitely come prepared to ask some questions. One good question to ask is remember that you're going to be interviewing with maybe a series of different people, maybe different CRAs, maybe the director there, maybe the project manager, and you're going to be interviewed by each of them most likely individually. So you want to be able to say essentially the same thing to each of them, okay, so that you're not forgetting to say something, and maybe you say one thing to one person and forget to say that to someone else. Know what you want to say. Make sure you convey those important messages about yourself, about your experience to each of those people. Okay, but when each of them will likely ask you that question of, do you have any questions for them? One good question to ask is remember that each of them have different roles. So you want to ask them, what's important for them for someone in this role that they're hiring for, in the CRA role? They're going to give you a response. Okay, everyone will have their own response to this question. And from their perspective, from a director's perspective, from a project manager's perspective, from your peer, another fellow CRA, to them, they're going to be looking for something a little bit different. When you hear that answer, the perfect response to that answer is to then give an example of something in your past that shows that that too is important to you. Okay, so an example of this would be, let's say one of them says, it's really important for me that the person that fulfills this role as a CRA works really close with the team. Isn't just siloed, is really great in communication, involved with other members of the team, and works together. Okay, now the answer to that is to say something like, I can see how that's extremely important, because in my past experience I can see how teamwork has been such a vital role in my everyday functions, and then give a really specific example of something that involved teamwork that led to some great outcomes, some achievement that you're able to do. But you also want to maybe give an example of how you initiated that teamwork, how you took ownership and kind of took charge of that. So think about questions that you want to, or think about these examples so that when they ask or when they answer what's important to them, you'll have some good things to say. All right, so next thing is to remember to be confident, but don't be cocky, and be humble. Okay, now what I mean by that is you can express this in the answers and comments that you're making throughout the interview process. One example is they might ask you, or you can bring it up in conversation about what makes you unique from everyone else. What sets you apart from the crowd. Now this will fall into the category of you being confident in yourself, and you want to express confidently what makes you special, what makes you unique. Maybe it's your experience, whatever it may be, your education. You say that in a confident manner, but at the same time, in the conversations that you have, you want to express your gratitude for the opportunity that they're giving you. You want to say that you're looking to always improve, and you want to learn from them, and you're really looking forward to this opportunity should you be picked. And that right there makes you sound very humble. It makes you sound like you're looking to them for your own professional growth as well. So that's a really great thing to say, and it shows that you are humble and you are confident at the same time. Okay. Another key tip is to research your interviewers prior to the interview. Okay, so you want to go onto LinkedIn, typically the recruiter will give you a list of people that you're going to be interviewing with. Okay, they'll give you their full names, so you can look them up on LinkedIn. And when you look them up, pay attention to things that stand out to you about them and take note of that. Okay, so maybe they went to a school that you went to as well. Maybe they have a really impressive degree. Maybe it's like a PhD in engineering or something like that. Maybe you're just really impressed with their trajectory in their professional life. So take notes of these things, and these are going to be your conversational points with these people. Okay, so that you don't have any awkward silences. You want to always make them feel comfortable with you, make them like you. Okay, so this is part of that. Find things that you can talk about with them, take note of that, and in the interview process, bring these things up. And it's a great icebreaker, and it makes them feel really comfortable with you already. Okay, that's a great way. Now the other thing is to research the company. Okay, so you want to go onto the website, look at any trials that they currently have, look at the products that they have, and look up any recent press releases. Okay, so when you go into the press release page, they'll usually post things that different accomplishments that they have had. Maybe they recently had a PMA approval. Maybe they opened up a new office recently. Whatever it may be, take note of that. And when you meet them, congratulate them on that accomplishment. Okay, because a lot of them put a lot of work into it, and for them to see that you looked that up and that you put some effort into that, it goes a long way. Okay, so make sure you do that. It's extremely important. Another thing is to learn the indication that they're in. Okay, so whatever it is, whatever device that they're using or drug that they're using, and whatever diseases or health conditions that they're treating, you want to look those things up. Understand the medicine behind it, understand the science behind it, understand the procedures that are involved, and maybe diagnosing or treating, whatever it may be. And then learn the competitors. Learn how this company fits in the market. Okay, this will make you look fantastic. All right, they're gonna know by you being able to talk on these things as an interviewee, and them seeing that, wow, this guy did his homework, or girl, this did their homework. This is fantastic. They understand what we do. Okay, this is going to be their response, and it really makes you look 1,000 times better than probably a lot of the competition who didn't do that. Next thing is to pay attention to your body language. So first of all, don't be too serious. Okay, don't be too nervous. Be relaxed. Remember to smile. That's a huge one. And be energetic, professional, and calm at the same time. Okay, so what that means is to really be the life of the party. Okay, so you want to be engaging, you want to be listening, you want to be starting conversation, avoid those awkward silences. Bring up your own questions, be interactive in this process. Professional, of course, use proper language, be confident. You kind of just how you see how I am here talking to you right now. Okay, be professional. And then calm, obviously there's different ways to be calm, but just don't look nervous. They already know that you're under pressure, but it really makes them feel comfortable with you if you yourself are calm and confident and professional and energetic and lively at the same time. Okay, so another thing is your body posture. Okay, so if they're saying something really important or key that is important to them, then maybe at that point you want to lean in, listen to them, and really pay attention to what they're saying. And by you leaning in, they're gonna see that you came in closer to really hear what they're saying. If they're saying something a little bit more broad, maybe they're talking their perspective on things, giving you a little bit of personal insight on whatever it is. If they're a little bit more casual, maybe you want to sit back, take it in, be comfortable. All right. And then again, while you're thinking of all these things, just remember to always listen to what they're saying. Whatever question it is that they're asking you, whatever important key it is that they're bringing up, make sure you pay attention. So another really super helpful thing is to bring a water bottle. Many times the front desk receptionist will offer you water, but be prepared, bring your own even. Hear me out. So this is key. Okay, so when you're in the interview process, obviously you're going to be nervous. They know you're likely nervous, okay, but you're trying to portray someone who's calm. Drinking water while they're talking to you is a great way to just look calm. Okay, so for instance, they can be talking, you can just reach for your water, put it back down, keep talking. It makes you look super comfortable. Another great tool that this can be used for, let's say they ask you a really difficult question, something you may not know the answer to right away, something you might have to think about a little bit. Okay, so if they ask you something like that, you might want to say, oh wow, that's a really great question. It's actually kind of difficult. Probably have to put some thought into that, and then reach for your water. Drink your water. Act like you're thinking. Put the water down, and by this point, you should have already been coming up with an answer, with a response to that. And of course, remember, answer through examples. Okay, and that's a great way to pause, buy some time. But from their perspective, it looks like you are really considering, what they're asking and putting some thought into it. You're not just jumping and blurting something out to maybe something that they know is a difficult question. And for them, that's going to make them feel really confident in you. They're going to like that about you. And that's going to probably help you stand out a lot. Okay, so at the end of the interview, you never want to leave without asking what's next. Okay, so make sure you ask them, what are the next steps? When will you hear back? What's the process? Whatever it may be. Okay, so always ask those questions and they'll be sure to let you know. Okay, and at the end of the interview, you're always going to know essentially if it went well or not. Okay, you'll have a good idea at least. And typically, when these companies like you, if they really like you and they're sold on you, they're going to move very quickly. Okay, they may call you the very next morning, or they may call you in the next few days. It generally moves quickly. Okay, but at the same time, if it's been a week, don't panic. It's always good to reach out if it's been maybe a week and just ask, kind of for an update. And I'm sure the recruiter or whoever it is that your contact is will be able to give you an update of some sort. Okay, so remember, stay positive, and at the very next day, in the morning, it's always a good idea to send a thank you email. Okay, thanking them for the opportunity, and make it really genuine. Okay, make it personal, and the way that you do that is to mention something really specific from your experience there with them. Maybe something that stood out to you that you really liked about them, or whatever it may be. You want to mention that, and that makes it really personal, makes it sound genuine, and it's a good way to kind of make them remember you. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. Just remember to like and subscribe, and watch out for the ebook that's coming. That's going to describe this process on how to become a CRA in a more detailed manner. Okay, and also leave a comment if you like to maybe arrange a call with me. We can do maybe like a 30-minute call. If you have any questions about this, I'll be happy to help someone with maybe their upcoming interview, maybe how to improve their resume, whatever it may be. Leave a comment down below and we can get in touch, and I'll make a video about that whole process. Okay, and also be sure to leave a comment letting me know what you like to see. Okay, if there's another topic that you like to learn about in clinical research, remember, if you are a business owner, you work at a sponsor biotech company, you're trying to get into becoming, working in clinical research, just leave a comment about any video that you like to see, and if it's something that I can do, I'll be happy to make a video on it. Okay, so thank you again, and see you at the next episode.